Okay. I mean, I do appreciate you guys making the time to get on. I mean, the biggest thing I wanted to talk about was mostly mental health, and the things that we're going through right now. There's a lot of stress, there's a lot of anxiety right now, and people aren't discussing these things. People aren't talking about them. We're just kind of reacting, or we're bottling it up and not dealing with it. When we do the show before, we always be able to talk about current events, things that were going on. And it's kind of like almost like therapy is kind of like a release to be able to understand that other men are going through things that we're going through. I feel like this is a big opportunity to let people know that we're going through things that they're going through, that we're thinking about the things that they're going through, we might not all be out there marching, but we're all out there participating and doing different things to try to help. And I feel like this is one of the things that we've also done that's what to talk about, and how we're all actually doing it. And it's not just from the protests and the fact that we kind of feel powerless sometimes. It's we were already going through COVID. A lot of people were a lot more isolated than they were, and these things they need to be discussed. Before I proceed, anything you guys would like to say?
Well, for one, you're spot on with that. Like the whole this whole thing, I'm ready for 2020 to kind of just restart or something, because it's definitely been a tough year. I mean, even before the COVID thing started. I mean, honestly, if we're really being honest, I think the first thing that really bothered a lot of people was the death of Kobe Bryant, right? And I know people look at that's a sports figure. How is that an impact? But we looked at it as he was more than a sports figure, especially after basketball. Because Lord knows I wasn't the biggest Kobe Bryant fan coming up, and it wasn't towards the end of his career when I just kind of saw his work ethic and stuff, and it was like, all right, I'm a fan of the sport, and I'm a fan of his as just the worker that he was. And then to see the things that he was accomplishing outside of basketball, I found myself rooting for him. Even the things he was doing with girls basketball and women's basketball, and his daughter and everything. And I remember when that happened, that was just like, you would have thought like somebody I knew personally had passed away. And that hit hard for a little while there. And then shortly after that's when COVID was really starting to, I guess, ramp up and become more popular. So it was just one thing after another. And then with this situation, you also have to look at what happened before. So you had Ahmaud Arbery, who down here in Georgia was murdered by two people trying to do
good old boys
trying to do a citizen's arrest. Breonna Taylor, who the police had the person went to the wrong place any damn way and proceeded to open fire, and then charged the boyfriend for trying to defend himself and his girlfriend. And then the same day as George Floyd, we had the Central Park Karen. So you take all of that on top of the fact that now we're quarantined, we're uncertain. The powers that be, because I'm not trying to get political like that, but the powers that be seem like they got other interests. You take all of that into account, and then you have this situation where it's clear as day that it was murder. And then when you then it gets worse when you look at the report. He died for $20. He died for a suspected forged $20 suspected fake $20.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is,
that's the description of.
And he was trying to be a good Samaritan because he didn't know what was happening prior to. Well, allegedly, we don't know. He's not here to tell us, right? So the story I heard was someone went in there trying to use that $20 bill before. The store owner kicked him out. Then George walked in, and I guess tried to use whether it's the same $20 bill or whatever, trying to buy it for that person. So the store owner decided he was going to follow protocol and alert the authorities that someone was trying to use counterfeit money. But
most corporations, when it comes to counterfeit bills, the procedure is not to kick anyone out. It's just to ask to say, "Hey, do you have any other form of payment? I can't take this."
Right.
And move on. There's, now if the person becomes belligerent, becomes violent, whatever, then you contact the police for that, not for the $20.
Right.
And usually they're not going to arrest someone for trying to pass a $20 bill. Usually they're just going to investigate and ask where they got it from and collect it. That's it. So everything about this was blown up and blown out of proportion.
Absolutely. And then, like I said, and then you see the video, and the video was devastating in itself. But then you start hearing the stories behind the video. You start seeing the video from different angles. So now not only do you hear one cop with his knee on his neck, you see him kind of lift his other leg off the ground. So it's like he's applying more pressure. You see the other two cops. You see the other two cops also holding him down, and then you see the Asian cop sitting there and just kind of observing,
playing bully.
Yeah,
don't do drugs, kid.
Yeah,
don't do drugs.
So it's kind of it was enough. Honestly, enough was enough. I mean, we were already on edge, right? We were already on edge with the Ahmaud Arbery. Then the news of Breonna Taylor came out, right? Then we're quarantined. We're already on edge. We feel
wait. It's not just they killed him. It's just no one got arrested.
Right. No one got it. Well, no one got
charged.
But to watch,
it took 4 days.
Right. But we literally watched this man cry out to his mother. We literally, right? And if you're one of those people who believe in that, I look at it from a standpoint of his mother. They said his mother, he died 2 years in a day to the anniversary that his mother passed away. So it was almost like, to me, it looked like, was he seeing his mother? Right? Because they say before you pass, you start to see your loved ones bringing you to the other side. Right? So it's like you hear all of that, and then, like I said, you take everything else that's going on. We have a government. I mean, if we're going to be honest, the government never really gave too much care about us anyway. And now we have an administration who's letting it be known, is basically parading it in the streets, that they do not care about people of color in this world. Okay. From, I don't want to curse, but from shithole countries to mud huts to get rid of the Haitians.
Mm-hmm. Hey, listen, they said it on CNN, so you're good.
Okay, to very fine people that, all of that. We have an administration that is basically letting it know almost on a weekly basis, hey, just so you remember, we don't give a damn about you. Go on about your day. And now you have this, right? It was bound to happen, right? Do I necessarily agree with the rioting and the looting? No. But
so let's one of the things that I had spoken to you about earlier was we need to make sure those terms are separated.
Right.
There's a difference between the protesters and the rioters. And a lot of the rioters and looters are totally 100% not connected with the protest.
Right, and that's
and then
proven.
Are there people that are taking advantage of the situation? Yes, but I was actually going to do this real quick. They complain about rioters and they're quick to bring up Martin Luther King. However, rioting is the voice of the unheard. Guess who said that?
Martin Luther King.
Okay, so
MLK Jr.
Okay, the same Martin Luther King who I think the year he passed or the year he didn't, the year before, he was voted the most hated man in America. The same Martin Luther King Jr. that the United States government was found guilty of murdering or having to do something with his assassination. You mean that guy? Now you want us to listen to him? He should have been here to tell us that, right? Instead, y'all took that from us. Y'all took that from us. Y'all took Huey from us. Y'all took Malcolm from us. You took these people from us. So now you don't want us to have any leaders, right? So you can sit here and say that we're running around unorganized. And then when stuff like this happens, now you're like, oh, you should listen to your leaders. Nah, pick something, right? And to your point, Drew, I agree.
Pick a struggle.
Yeah, there should be a clear distinction between the protesters and the rioters, and I also think there should be a clear distinction between the rioters and the looters, because you have some people who are just mad as hell, so they're tearing stuff apart. Then you have people who,
I do agree.
Then you have people who are taking that same rioting, the effect of that rioting, and for their own cause. So I think there should be three distinct differences between the three groups. But also to your point, I'm also going to hold the media accountable, because if we only saw what they put on camera, we would think it's our own. The thing about this protest to me is that it feels different, right? Because for one, more younger people are involved. Two, a lot of white people are involved, right? More than usual.
Yep.
But that's also on the positive and the negative. So on the positive side, you see these videos of where white people are standing in front of black folk that are about to get possibly arrested and assaulted by the police and using their privilege to protect them. That's awesome. But I saw videos the other day. It was like an 8-minute video. 6 minutes of that video were white people trying to break into this tobacco shop, right? And then they broke in.
Right.
Yep. They had to
for Patagonia to steal surfboards.
Okay, they did all that, bro.
Yeah.
And
black people don't surf.
And then you had the black people come in after the white people done rummage through everything, and they're the ones who get caught on camera. They're the ones that in the media. So my thing is, if you're gonna paint the picture, paint the whole damn picture, right? Because guess what? You can't, and whether it's CNN,
well, it's like I had to tell someone last night, because they started talking about Antifa and all this other crap, and I said, whoa. It's just like when the police kill someone, you guys are quick to say, well, let me get the whole story. Whoa. Let's get the whole story about the rioting and everything else. Let's hold up.
Or since everybody want to go on facts matter, why don't we stick to the facts that there are tapes out there of white supremacist groups admitting that they're dressing up as Antifa to do this? Let's stick to the fact that the governor of Minnesota said that he has evidence of white supremacist groups infiltrating these crowds, starting stuff, and then hiding behind a protest to make it look like them. Why aren't we hearing that? Right? Okay, the part that irritates me again is again, as much as I do not care for this current person occupying the White House, I try to see.
We're gonna get to that.
I try to see if he's going to do something. If one of his advisors will finally say, "Listen, Donnie, go in there, say what's on this paper, and shut the hell up," right? And then,
let's go a little bit further. Let's not just say him. Let's say, there's our senators and congressmen, but they're all Democrats. You know what I'm saying? This is not a partisan issue.
Oh,
this
no,
is an issue. I got people that are citizens in this country.
Yeah, because I got some smoke for the
So
Congress in New York too.
I need some of them on the other aisle to speak up also.
Well, or how about again? Because and I've been on Twitter heavily about this situation. But like I said, I got smoke for the congressman, what's his name, Engel in New York, who got caught on a hot mic saying that if he wasn't in the middle of a primary for his seat, he wouldn't care what was going on. The man asked him, the man leaned in and said, "What?" And he said it again. This is a Democratic representative. So no, I like, if you see me 9 times out of 10, and of course the landscapers want to come now and in the middle of the stream, but I usually say throw the whole damn DC away. Throw the whole damn DC away.
There's so many of them, you know, and so to quote some other people, oh, they're not all bad. But there's so many of them that are bad that just get rid of all of them. You know? Let's start all over.
Let's clean house and let y'all. It's almost like when in high school every year, right? You have the basketball team, but you got to do tryouts every year, right? I mean, yeah, you have some superstars that you know are just going to make it anyway. But 9 times out of 10, everybody else got to try out for that spot. Nah, I need you to clear the whole House of Representatives, the whole Senate, and make them earn their seat back. Like, because
and also statewide, also, and redistrict everything. You know, because a lot of these districts that are districted together that are getting a lot of the better benefits, you know, that's why they're voting the way they're voting. You know? We know that there's voter suppression in this country. We know things like that. We need to throw everything out. We need to start all over with a lot of these things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said, and that's what I'm trying to tell. Like, this is what I've been also saying. Like, listen, the rioting, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, it's only the first step, right? I honestly feel like we're in an election year for most of the stuff, most of the seats out here, right? From the president down. We need to make them feel it. Seriously, make them feel it. We're making them feel it right now in the streets with our voice. But then we also need to use our voice and our dollar. Okay, everybody's talking about doing this blackout next month, this financial blackout. I say, why not do it longer? I mean, yeah, there's certain things that you might just have to go. Yeah. There's certain things you just have to go to, like a Walmart for or something like that. But if you have to do it,
I say no people of color celebrate the 4th of July.
I was going to go there too.
Might as well celebrate Juneteenth.
Might as well celebrate Juneteenth.
You know, well, a lot of people celebrate both, but no, let's all the money that we normally put in the 4th of July, because we like having cookouts and stuff, take that money and put it in the Juneteenth celebration.
And like I said, and
don't show up at any parades. Don't buy the burgers. Don't buy anything you're going to buy sell both of during that time.
Right. You're right. And if you have to spend your dollar, look where they're donating their money to. Right? So a Walmart who is spending a fortune on anti-Trump, right? You cool. Let's shop there. I love a spicy chicken deluxe, but I don't know if Chick-fil-A gonna get my money no more. I was telling Kron. It's
a wrap, bro.
I was telling Kron I love the breakfast baconator at Wendy's. Yeah. I'm gonna have to let that one rock now. You know,
I told you I would need enough at these places to actually consider the boycott. I would need to go buy something, and then we will go for the boycott.
Okay, shoot, not for nothing.
One last one for the road.
Right. Hold on. You got Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut who replaced Papa John as the. Yeah, no, but I'm saying Pizza Hut, who replaced Papa John's as the official pizza partner of the NFL because of the whole Colin Kaepernick thing. Yeah. Now you supporting Trump, man. It's like this is the type of stuff that if you're gonna spend your money where it's gonna go, but look into our own community first. Go to these farmer markets. Go to the like we don't have.
I was gonna say we should be shopping local. we should have been shopping local during COVID anyway.
Right.
You know, we shouldn't have been doing the chains and fast food chains during COVID. Yes, they are employing people, but those chains can survive much longer than the local restaurants and businesses.
Right.
We should have been supporting them, and going forward, as long as they're not around to be doing wild stuff,
right,
and and supporting long stuff, because our dollars are important.
Right.
We should have been focusing more on supporting our local restaurants, local businesses. Local flower shop. We have local places. You don't need
what I've been doing is if I can't sit down at a spot like my barbershop, I cash app him some money in advance. I fronted him my next haircut, right? Do something like that. Go to these shops. If you can't sit down or whatever, buy a gift card. So that's still bringing, you know what I'm saying? So that's money still circulating. Now you're just holding on to it, but I really feel like now's the time to really start holding people accountable. And like I said, the crazy thing is like, I didn't even know to what capacity, but there's this woman on well, she's everywhere, but basically on Twitter, Ari Hale, she's known as Nerd Nomad Mom. Y'all go check her out. She's like a marketing genius, right? All weekend, she sat there and she was like, "Okay, for in the tech space, who do y'all go to for certifications? Okay, we use Udemy, we use Cybrary, we use Pluralsight, whatever, all these different sites." And she basically held their feet to the fire and said, "Yo, we not supporting you or any of your creators until you come out with a statement." Right? Like, damn, right? And at first, and then a couple people ignored her. So now I'm like, all right, I use my little influence with my little 2,000 followers. And I'm like, nah, make it right. Make it happen. A couple other people chimed in. Then we started getting some statements. Whether or not they're genuine, I don't know. Maybe if they feel like they were forced, I don't know. But at least it's a start. You can't have these companies who are willing to take our money, but not willing to speak up when something like this happens because it's not them, right? Like this is supposed to be a situation that everybody. Granted, we know the truth about it. We know the disparities. We know that this, even though the people will shoot these stupid stats about, oh, well, more white people get shot by police than black people. Okay, that's disproportionate.
So before we move on to that stuff, I just want to go back to the because we're discussing a lot of things that are bothering us, but I want to make sure people understand it's important to talk about these things with your friends, with your family, or with a therapist. And we do in Bridgeport, we have therapists that specialize with people of color. I have if anyone wants to message me, that they're all specialized in men and women of color. In order to, the things that we were going through, these people have been through, and so I just want to make sure we keep bringing it back to that and people getting help. If you know anyone, hopefully, because we're not all in the same areas, definitely, and be okay reaching out to each other, just in general, like we did to each other. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. Actually, no. That's a good point. I mean, honestly, how are y'all doing?
I mean, I wanted to. So the reason why I ended up doing this with you guys, I wanted to put a video tweet myself because people don't read, and so I didn't want to type a huge message. And every time I really wanted to do it, I found myself getting making people upset about everything in order to be able to do it. So I felt like, if I have, my guys with me, then I would be all right doing it. I have cried during this. I've been very angry. I'm worried about my family, not just with COVID, but how all this is making them feel. And and on top of it, we still have to work. We still have to, go through everything. We still have to live our lives too, while trying to figure out our ways of pushing through all this. But how are what about you?
Kron?
Well, I'm good and I'm disgusted. I'm okay and I'm not okay. I thought, damn, we living in the fucking Twilight Zone. Mm-hmm. Then I realized this is actually a fucked up episode of Tales from the Crypt. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure how this episode is going to end, honestly. We got a lot of people showing their true colors, true intentions, true feelings. Shit, I just had to barbecue somebody over that. A coworker that, I thought was cool. Well, ex-coworker. I thought was cool. Like 5 minutes before this call, I had to give that man the business.
Same
if anybody's obviously been, I know you guys. No, the one I was talking about in the chat, yeah. No, wait, maybe not, because there were actually a couple of old coworkers that had to get it. This particular one was a little bit closer than the other two.
Okay,
but
not our old boy.
If you guys, no. You guys obviously follow me on social media. Other people who are not know that since this has been going down, if I get some information, if Drew got some information or something about that, while somebody else saying something questionable, racist, threatening the lives of people, all sorts of madness, they're getting put on Front Street. They're all set, and we're not cancel culture. It's a cancel.
No. Just to interrupt real quick. What people don't understand is we have a Bill of Rights. You have freedom of speech. Those rights come with responsibilities and consequences.
Yep.
Yes.
So yeah,
absolutely.
Can you say whatever you want? Sure can. You are going to have to deal with the consequences of it if it's something wild and out of pocket. That's not a threat, anything like that. That's what it is. And I'm not saying these companies, these jobs are letting people go because they feel like you're a piece of crap. No, what's good for business. Mm-hmm. And so what's good for business is not to deal with you. And you have to recognize your words have meanings, your words have sentiment, your words have they have a responsibility as a citizen of this union. Mm-hmm. And if you don't want that, then that's fine. Go like your private message boards and feel real safe there with your real fingers.
Right.
I'm sorry. I just, a lot of people talk about freedom of speech. Well, freedom of speech comes with, freedom of getting knocked out sometimes.
Right. And, what I'm saying? There are no apologies. Those shits is empty.
Nope.
It's all
not
set.
doing those no more.
Listen, myself as a single person, us as a trio, ZFG, black folks as a whole, forgiveness has run out. That's it. No more apologies.
Out of cheeks.
Do better. We don't want, keep your apology. Mm-hmm. Keep that shit. Because you don't mean it. The only reason you're apologizing is because you're getting called on something that you shouldn't have been doing in the first place. It's not like they just, some divine light came down and they had an epiphany unto themselves and say, you know what? I'm a real dirtbag for saying that. Let me take that down. Let me remove that. Let me not like that. No. Those apologies are coming from a place of embarrassment. And those apologies are coming from a place of shame. They are not real. They are not genuine. And we are not having it. You saw the status I put up the other day. You can accidentally like a status, but never in the history of social media has anybody ever typed out an entire sentence and hit post and hit tweet and hit send. I have never, ever, ever in my life seen any madness like that. Your apology is falling on deaf ears. That's just the bottom line. I'm over here sending long text messages to my children, my beautiful colored children who are just about to graduate to the next phase in life of adulthood. I am sending them messages that I should not have to send them. I should not have to tell them that this place that they grew up in hates them. I should not have to tell them that they need to watch your back. They should not have to see a man get murdered on national TV by the people who are supposed to be protecting them. They should not have to see that shit. And yet here I am sending a message for them to watch out for that and to check on them and to make sure their mental health is okay. Not that I wouldn't do that in any other circumstance, because of course I would. It's part of being a parent. I'm not the greatest parent in the world, but I do what I can.
Right.
But I should not have to. I just should not have to do anything like that. You shouldn't have to do anything like that with my god kids, Drew. You shouldn't have to do anything like that with your kids. None of us should have to do that. You know why? Because white people do not have to do that with their kids.
Hold on.
I'm an upstanding citizen.
And you had to do that again.
Again.
You had to do that again.
Yeah, because it's had to be done multiple times.
Right.
In my lifetime.
They definitely had to be talked to. I don't always send messages, but they definitely had to be talked to. I'm an upstanding citizen. I got a regular job. Mm-hmm. I've never, ever been arrested. Okay? My record is as clean as a fresh fade from the barber. You understand what I'm saying to you? And yet, when a cop pulls up behind me, I get that's a ticket though for a traffic violation, but you fine, which is fine. I can eat that, right? But you know what? When
the problem is, a lot of times we're getting pulled over for fake traffic violations that we didn't actually commit,
right?
And because we don't want to fight, we just take the ticket,
right?
You know, and deal with it later. You know, and that's really what the issue is. People are like, oh, well, don't argue with the cop. Don't argue with the cop. Well, the cop shouldn't have pulled me over because he pulled me over because of a black man driving a black car in a white town or whatever the case may be. You know, like, that's really the issue. I've been pulled over in DWP 4 times in my life. 3 times in one town, the same town.
Right.
You know, so the answer is don't go back to that town anymore. That's the answer.
When I should be able to go anywhere I want.
Man.
Yeah. So, you know, and the audacity is one time the lazy cop didn't even get out his car. He pulled up alongside of me and rolled his window down, questioning where I was coming from and where I'm going and this side and the other. Mm-hmm. You know, like at that point, I wish I'd been arrested. Like, are you that lazy?
Right. No, you know what? You're like I said, y'all.
Right.
Both of y'all are absolutely right.
You know, and I know we've also put in our stories of things that happen to each other. You know, we've been racially profiled and whatnot. The issue is things should never have happened, and they're continuing to happen, and it happened to the generations before us.
Mm-hmm. No, right.
You know, the people are like, oh, you know, you guys get over it. You know, we talk like I tell them stories.
Mm-hmm. Right, and just like just like James Baldwin said, how much time do you need for your progress? Mm-hmm. How much time do you need? When are you gonna get it? Are you really willing? And again, I do not advocate violence or criminal activity or anything like that. But I understand. I understand the pain. I understand the frustration. I understand why it's happening. I can empathize with that. Is America really going to sit and let the entire country get burnt down because they don't want to sit back and say, you know what? We might have got this wrong.
Enough's enough.
Yeah.
This probably shouldn't be happening.
Right.
Wow. Is it really? Are they really acting out like that because they don't have anything better to do? Can they really they can't see like past their own ignorance and frankly their own bullshit to see that this is just not an isolated incident? This didn't just pop up a week and a half ago. Like, this country's been playing with this loaded gun for a long time. This bullet, this hollow point has been in the chamber for a long, long time. How long are you going to twirl the gun before you accidentally pull the trigger?
Mm-hmm.
You are literally playing Russian roulette. And for what? Like, what's the reason? Because all lives matter? Because all lives matter, but all lives ain't in danger?
Mm-hmm.
Because of black on black crime, and we should focus on that, even though that's a myth?
Yeah.
A story?
Yeah, all races
fable?
Rate.
Are we joking? Oh, because you have a black husband or a black this or a black that?
Oh, don't forget, because we voted a black president and he put 2 terms.
Oh, yeah, we voted a black stuff. Oh, so everything is good. I do have a message for those people. I have a black, or we did a black. Let me explain something to you. You are living the black experience by proxy. You are living the black experience second-handed. You are not living the black experience as your reality. I've got a black husband. You know what? I've got a woman. I am not the expert on menstruation. I can't tell her what it's like. And I can't tell her how to deal with it.
Right. Yep.
You can't.
So sit all that down. I can't feel right. I can't feel that. So sit all that down and stop trying to cape and change the narrative and deflect and all that stuff. People that yell Black Lives Matter are not discounting anybody else. Obviously, other lives matter, because at the end of the day, we don't want anybody to die.
Right.
And another thing is, stop advocating running over protesters. Like, that's not a game. Right. It's not a joke. Stop saying what you would have done. You wouldn't have done nothing. You'd have sat there and waited. The whole point of a protest is to make people uncomfortable. Because when people get uncomfortable, then they consider things. They consider things outside of their own little box and worry about other than themselves. So stop saying that's why. And people think it's a joke. A lot of people got canceled this week because they said that one little small thing. I would have drove home, or they should have drove home, knowing they wouldn't have done a thing.
But the crazy thing is,
that's not a joke. And possibly got pulled out of the car and then been a statistic on the news, and then would have been crying like that dude in South Carolina who said, "Oh, I got jumped by 2 African Americans." When the reality is, you started it.
Or how about
shoot arrows at him?
Or how about minutes before that, he came out with the Bowie knife? He was at
right. Like they should have.
So, but you know the crazy part is again, I try to analyze things, right? And my thing is, I feel like, and I'm gonna get back to the mental health part of it in a second, but to me, it's almost like they would rather say ignorant things. They would rather deflect and say Black Lives Matter, well, all lives matter, and all of that, rather than ask and come up to the answer of the one question that all of this is about. Why? Why is this happening? And the reason why they would rather deflect, the reason why they say this ignorant crap is because now you're putting up a mirror to yourself, right? So you can't sit here. So yeah, like the All Lives Matter group, to me, the All Lives Matter group came into play because just like everything else, they didn't want Black Lives Matter to be a voice. Why? Because they don't want us to be a voice. If you think I'm lying, like I said, look at all the voices that we've had and look and where are they now? Right?
Or they try to to classify BLM as thugs and terrorists, just like they did the Black Panther.
Mm-hmm. But the KKK and white supremacy, they're just exercising their freedom of speech.
Well, they finally got declared.
Yeah, but what I'm
finally,
but the defense is
after forever.
Yeah, but like I said, but they come to that defense.
Oh no, I understand. No, right? Definitely.
So like that's my thing. So for me, mentally, like the first thing that happened before I even saw the video was, again, like I saw the Central Park Karen video, and I was like, whatever.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, and then I heard about it, and I said again, and then I watched the video, and for me, this one hit hard because y'all know my story and shit like that when I was in the military. And I was put in a similar position. Difference being the only difference was I had a gun to my head. And now I sit back and I'm like, that brought back all those old feelings.
Yeah.
So now
PTSD.
So now I'm having to process that while trying to shield my children from it as long as possible because I'm not ready to speak. So my son played probably way more Xbox in the last week and a half than I've ever allowed him to play in a sitting, right? Like my daughter, she goes on the internet, but I basically just told her, listen, you might see some things on TikTok or whatever it is you're using. Like, just don't engage. Because I'm not ready to deal with that. Because I'm in that mindset of, okay, if someone says something wrong to my daughter, I'm going to use the skills that I have acquired over the years, and I'm gonna start tracking down IP addresses. So it's like, let me not. I'm like, please help me, right? So now, as I'm trying to process it, then comes the disappointment in people and this is where I'm gonna say, well, of all races. This is where I'm going to include everybody, black and white and Spanish, whatever. People who I expected to have a better moral values coming to the defense of the police officer. Like, this isn't something where we heard it. We saw, it's not even that we saw it. It's something that we didn't hear. It's not something that we just saw the tail end of. We saw the whole video, and then they kept saying, well, wait for more. We don't know what happened before that. Then the video that showed up before that happened,
and we got more video,
but we don't know why.
Yeah, every video made it look worse.
Every video made it look worse for
Stockholm syndrome.
Oh, right,
real thing.
So the disappointment
for sure.
And now I'm angry. I'm going through the motions of reliving shit. I'm upset that I have to try to shield this from my kids before I can talk to them about it again. And now I got to still go to work and try to live normally. They're normal. They're normal, right? Because they're not prepared to talk about it, or they don't want to talk about it, even though a week before they were talking about all their opinions, good, bad, or indifferent, on people protesting with AK-47s and AR-15s because they wanted to get a haircut and a tattoo. But that's for another story. So now I'm dealing with all of that, right? And then, of course, then you have the social media aspect. I mean, I think crime. I know you saw. You know what I'm saying? You have people on social media who are now trying to justify, oh, black men 16 to 35, oh, black on black crime, all this other crap.
Blocked,
right.
Reported, emails your supervisor, blocked, tagged your company, blocked.
Right, but I'm still trying to go through the motions. So now I'm not sleeping. Right. My mother's in town. I haven't really, other than errands and stuff like that, I know my mother's probably looking at me like something ain't right with him. Right. But I'm not gonna damper what their vacation or what they're here for. I'm trying to be my normal self, knowing my insides are in flux right now. Right. Some days I wake up, I'm angry. Some days I wake up, I'm like, I want to be down there breaking stuff.
The old Davin?
Yeah, I want to be down there breaking stuff and rioting and all that. Some days I want to be the voice of reason. Some day and then lately I've been all of that. It's draining to me, right? So I had an appointment with my therapist because, again, like Drew was saying, like, mental health is important.
Gotta talk it out. Gotta have an outlet.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, and over the weekend I sat there, and again, I'm waiting for my place of employment. I'm looking for, like I said, places and people that I respect. I'm looking to see if they're going to say something because I'm on complete, at this point now, I'm on complete cutoff mode. Guillotine. Just off with your head. Go on.
Yeah, that's right. Henry VIII, that ass.
Yeah, just and be done with it. So, like I said, so then I get on the call with my therapist, and like I said, we talked, whatever. We recapped what happened since the last session, and then she said, "Okay, we have to address what's going on in the world." And then she goes, "How are you doing?" And I looked at her and I thanked her, and I said, "I know this is probably your job, and this is what you're getting paid to do, or this is what you were probably told to do, but guess what? That question right there means so much to people right now." The fact that you said it and you sounded genuine when you said it meant more to me than anybody's written cookie cutter statement.
Right.
And then we proceeded to have a conversation, and we proceeded to talk about how the most y'all gotta worry about is telling your kids about the birds and the bees, and
the regular don't do drugs, and
or if they do something and they get involved with the police, here's the number to the family attorney, or here's the number to your mom and dad or whatever, and because you're one phone call. I said, and that's pretty much y'all conversation, right? She was like, yeah, give or take. I said, okay. I got to give my children a blueprint. Don't
a step-by-step booklet.
Don't put your hands in your pockets. Keep your hands on the steering wheel or the dashboard, or if you're in the back seat, put it on the back of the headrest. Make sure you answer properly. Don't ask them too aggressively for their name and their badge number, but if you can read it off of their chest before, because some of them will try to cover it up, try to get that. Try to memorize it. Basically, do all of this and get out alive. Right?
Act rational in an irrational situation.
Act rational, even if they're insulting you. Okay. Then I told the story, like, when I've been pulled over 3 times since I've been here. The first time was with my wife. We picked up our son from school. He was telling us a story about something that happened in school. She didn't come to a complete stop at the stop sign. Cop was waiting at the little high-end neighborhood around the corner. Pulls her over. But he's pulling her over and he's talking to her in a way that if it
was somebody on the street, you'd have punched him in his mouth.
There you go. And I feel like he's doing it for that.
To go you.
Right, because she's driving. I'm in the passenger seat. And she's like, well, I don't really think. He's like, whatever, I got it on camera. And he's like, he's cutting her off. He's like being real rude. And every time he's doing it, he looks in to see me. Now I'm at the point my leg is shaking. I'm starting to do this. Y'all know what that is. I'm starting to do this and do this because the first because that's where I want to go with it. And she's holding my other hand because now she knows, okay, there's only about so now she's trying to hurry up and just accept whatever the cop is saying to take the ticket. So because if there was about another 1 or 2 minutes of it, I'm a man first. That's my wife. I promised it. I promised in front of y'all, her parents, God, and all the damn strangers on that beach that I would protect her. I do not like people always sit there and I'll be like, listen, y'all don't know who I am or what I was. But if you want to get a glimpse, mess with one of them. Mess with her or the 3 kids that live in my house. Shit, mess with my dog. Like that, like you gonna get a glimpse.
You think you John Wick?
Yeah, like you gonna get a glimpse, right? So it's like, so there was that incident. The second time I went through this, I stopped because now this is after that happened. So now when I'm in that neighborhood, I purposely do things like I might stop. One time I saw him staring at me. I stopped, turned the car off, turned it back on, put it in drive and drove off just to make a point, right? But now this time I stopped. I went to go whatever. And like you were saying, the cop pulls up next to me. But the first, what you doing, boy? Sir, what?
Oh, all right.
So we're going back and forth or whatever. And then he was like, well, you know, you didn't stop at that stop sign fully. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure I did. No, I don't think you did. No, I'm willing to go to court and say that I did. Whatever. I'm just going to just don't do it again. Oh, yeah, by the way, thanks for serving. Because I got my veterans plates on the back of the car.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Last time, I'm heading to work to interview a potential candidate. Cop pulls me over and says I'm doing something like it was like damn near. It was like 69 and a 45. Right down here, they got this super speeder thing where after a certain limit, whatever. My they gave me a ticket. It was like $530 plus points off my license.
Wow.
I'm prepared to go fight it. My therapist at that time, a black man, asked me where I got pulled over, in what area, and I tell him, and he looked at me and said, "Pay the ticket." So what? Who got $500 to give, especially when you didn't do nothing? He said, "Listen,
right.
Pay the ticket." Because I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. You're gonna go in there. You're gonna fight it. You may even win, but you gotta drive that road every day to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to make an example out of you. He said, just pay the ticket. He said, just pay. He goes, do you normally get in like road infractions or anything? I'm like, nah. He's like, yo, just pay the ticket, and in a couple of years you'll be fine. I said, but it's still $500. He's like, he goes, $500 is worth a peace of mind. So now this man who's supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, but this, like, they don't have to worry about that. They can go in there.
Yeah, that's the thing that we're trying to express to people,
right?
Is that these things are situations that should just happen. And yes, it sounds like we're just telling stories of cops harassing people, but we get harassed by the police like 2.5 times more than white people, is what they're not understanding. We're not saying you don't get harassed by the police. We're saying we get harassed at such a greater rate than you that it's ridiculous.
Right.
And we're over, at the very minimum, we're asking for people to have freaking empathy.
Right.
And try to understand what we're going through and what our parents have gone through and our grandparents have gone through, you know, because that's why it's hard to get over, because then you have to be taught these rules on how to behave and this and the other. Like, that's generational.
But
you know
what
it becomes stressful.
But you know what sucks these days is you don't even know if those rules are enough. You can
no. The rules were never designed to be enough.
Right.
The rules were to decrease your odds of getting home.
Because it's like you can comply.
You know, and the rules aren't foolproof.
Right. So like that, and like I said, and that's what I've been doing.
And clearly, you can comply and still get it. Because that's what happened with Floyd.
Right.
He complied. I've never seen anybody more compliant than that. How much more compliant can you be? And you still not alive.
They talk about
what's left?
They talk about the whole picture. They forced him not to comply. The reason why they threw him to the ground was because they were jabbing him in the car, and he moved to the other side. So they pulled him out the car and then pinned him down over there. So it's like, what do you?
How many times? And I've asked police officers that are supposed to be friends of mine on my page to explain to me how someone gets arrested for resisting arrest and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the resisting arrest is supposed to be a charge you add on to charges. It's not supposed to be recharged. Because that means at that point it means you shouldn't have been arresting me.
Right.
You know. Like, you're detaining me illegally a lot of times, so you arrest me for resisting, you know, and so I don't want to get into all that, you know, like these are the things we're trying to change.
Right.
These are the things that we're trying to explain. This is why this is why Black people feel the way that they do about the cops and different authorities and stuff like that. This is why sometimes Black people have a problem with white people in general, because at the very minimum, we can't get certain white people to just empathize with what we're going through and say, hey, I see that as an issue, you know, because the ignorant aspect of it, of saying it doesn't happen, is you're not an ally, you're not a friend. You don't have a Black friend then.
Right.
You know, you have a Black acquaintance that you're okay with them going through that stuff as long as it doesn't happen to you.
Right. Yep.
Right. Well, I seen and I know y'all saw this. So you know they got the curfew. They got like the National Guard in Minnesota. So I was watching this video. It was myself, my girlfriend, a couple of her cousins. Now obviously we're all Black. So I showed them the video, and it was the video of the National Guard and the police walking down the street. Now with the curfew, people either had to be in the house,
bullets and the people on their porch.
Right.
Yeah.
They had to be in the house or on their porch, and they were good money because they were on their property.
They were on their porch.
Cops walk by, these white people out there recording, oh, look at the army, it's the cops and stuff like that. All of a sudden the cops start yelling, get in the house, screaming at them like they're criminals, light them up. And then they get shot up with the rubber bullets, right? So we all saw that. They ran in the house, what the hell's going on, X, Y, Z. Now I watched this and showed just a small group of Black people that, and the first thing on our the first thing on our mind was, that's messed up. Why would you do that? They listened to what you said. They complied. Why would you do such a thing? That's craziness. That's madness. Nah, that's effed up. That's effed up. Why would the cops X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah? But that's it right there. That's the difference between the mindsets of our people, for the most part, and their people, for the most part. Because their people, for the most part, would have saw that video and said, if it was reversed and said, well, why didn't they just listen? Why didn't they comply? Oh, play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
What happened? We don't know what happened.
We don't know what happened before. Yeah, you know what? It doesn't matter what happened before.
The whole story to come out.
Yeah, let's see more footage. No, it doesn't matter. They shouldn't have did that. And that's the bottom line. But that is the difference between our mindsets and their mindsets, is they can't possibly fathom that cops and some of their own kind are just out there doing BS unprovoked.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And they're deploying the rubber bullets totally incorrectly.
There you
They're,
go.
they're not supposed to be fired directly on people,
supposed to
especially within a certain amount of feet. They're supposed to fire it at the ground to let them ricochet, to take some of the kinetic energy out of the bullets so that you don't kill people. They're trying to kill people with these rubber bullets.
They're taking people's, like I saw the one reporter, the one photographer.
She lost the eye. She might lose. She lose her eye.
She lost her eye. Another reporter doesn't know if she's going to lose her eye. They showed the one where it was lodged in the woman's head. Another one it cracked like.
I seen this.
And so also they know that this is the press that they're shooting at. And the press is allowed to be in the places that they're at. That's the thing.
Right.
Why are they shooting at the press except for the fact they don't want them to see what they're doing?
Macing the press, the whole night.
Arresting the press.
Yeah. What are we talking
and we sat here with and I don't care, this idiot president that has made the press the enemy. Is all the press on our side? Being the press is a business to a certain extent. Don't get me wrong, but truth is truth. And when you seeing it, that's the truth. And anyone that wants to shut down people that are exposing you, you're automatically my enemy.
Yeah.
Like I can't trust you.
Right.
So now we've had 3 years of people going the fake news and the presses that they're eating this stuff up like they're a cult. And now when they shoot at the press, no one has a problem with it. And so it's the same boat, At this point, we have allies. Don't get me wrong. I do want to thank my people that are not Black that have reached out to me either through calls or messages to see how I'm doing, make sure that I'm okay.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely do. I appreciate that. But Black people as a whole need allies. We don't need just we don't want you just going through life. Our lives are uncomfortable.
Right.
And these people they reach out. I don't know what else to do. I don't know what they do for me. How they feel to reach out and check on me and make sure that I'm okay.
Right.
Right. And another thing, because just to segue off a little bit from the, whole protests and stuff and how people doing things and stuff like that. Stop telling people how to protest.
Yeah.
Stop telling people how to protest. There are multiple ways that you can protest.
Yep.
People are in the streets protesting for our rights. People are online protesting for our rights. People are doing what they do to protest for our rights. Do not tell these people how to protest or what the right way of protesting is when you don't actually know what the right way of protesting is, because literally everything we have protested and every attempt that we have had to protest peacefully or whatever you want has not gotten anything done. Okay, so stop doing that.
That message isn't just for white people. Black people and people of color.
Right. Yeah, no. But yeah.
That is a blank statement for everybody. And the second thing is stop doing that if you're not doing anything at all.
Say that again.
You're not armchair quarterbacking it. Stop telling people how to protest if you are not doing anything at all. Let me say it to you like a child. Not doing anything at all.
Yep.
Cut that shit out. That shit is madness. You have no answers. You have no strategy. You have nothing.
Yep.
And yet you want to tell people how to do it, but you haven't yet told anybody how to do it. Oh, I don't think that's the right way. Oh, well, what's the right way?
Yeah.
Well, I know that doing X, Y, isn't the right way. Okay, so tell me what the right way is. Oh, well, I'm just saying, doing it like this and doing it like that. Stop dancing with me. I don't want to dance.
So my response is, again, back to kind of what Drew was saying, like, what would you have us do? Right? It's kind of goes like, when we kneeled, we were sons of bitches. when Martin Luther King protested peacefully, he was assassinated, but y'all sick the dogs on him and shot hoses at him, sort of like what this president recommended on Twitter, right? When the looting starts, the shooting starts, sick, vicious dogs.
Shooting starts, yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
So that wasn't good. The kneeling wasn't good.
No.
Malcolm's Way wasn't
what about the speeches at, like, the Academy Awards and stuff like that?
Oh yeah. Speaking out is wrong. Athletes can't. They should shut up and dribble.
Shut up and dribble. Yeah, shut up and dribble. Right. Oh, okay. Cool. So what's next?
So what would you have us do?
Yeah, and the funny thing is, the people who say all these things, it's not that they don't like how you're protesting. They don't like you protesting.
Yeah,
because these are the people that recognize their privilege in this world, and they don't understand. We don't want to be privileged. We just want to be equal.
Right.
We're not trying to.
And to that point, to that point, yeah, we want to be equal. Just like how those people, not even 2 weeks ago, were in the Capitol buildings with their guns, berating the police. They are good.
Yes.
People. They are good people. They just. Tear gas, paint, the National Guard, nothing. The cops sat there like good old boys, right?
They didn't even want to shoot the breeze.
Okay. Now let's look at Seattle the other day where they were literally chanting, "We don't see no riot here. Why are you wearing riot gear?" And you know how they responded? Yeah. With tear gas and rubber bullets. Or how about the young black man that knelt in front of the police and said, "I want to understand. I want to know you. I want this to stop." He begged and pleaded to basically be friends with the officers. And they snatched his ass up and took him away. So what? Yep. What is good enough? Because if we die, we may.
What do you want?
If we die, we may have deserved it. If we don't agree with how it happened, we're wrong. So it's like
we must have done something.
There must have been something that we're just not seeing. So and I want to piggyback off of what both of you guys are saying about. Like I said, I mean, I've had more strangers reach out to me than I've had people not of color reach out and see how I was doing. Like I said, I mean, I stay off of Facebook, one, because not that I stay off of it, but I'm on it less and less. One, because it's just people seem to think they have a lot more power in their voice or say certain things, and especially with me being who I am, I just figure out of sight, out of mind. Let me not deal with it. And with Twitter, I can kind of control what I see and what I can't see. But I mean, personally, during COVID, because we have had a little more time and we're not out as much like that. I mean, my purpose not to be on media more than I was pre-COVID. That could be time I could be spent reading or doing something the best out of this time I have, instead of going down that rabbit hole. Unfortunately, the last few days I've gone down the rabbit hole because of what people are saying, and just and like I said, we're all focusing. I'm not arguing with people online. I'm not debating with people. I'm not accepting apologies. I will get you. So like as we like to call ourselves, the protesters, IT. So, no, like
it's anti-racist tech support.
I had to take a day off from work because this has consumed me. Like I said, not the social media side of it, but just the feelings of it. And then, like I said, to sit here and then go to work.
Just the whole thing.
Yeah. To sit here and have to kind of go to work, and then I work with people, like I said, and in no way do I think they are negative or they don't share the same values or beliefs or anything like that. but it's hard being the minority or the only one or one of the very few, and then either not have these conversations, or feel like there's no point in having these conversations because they're only seeing it. Although they're saying things in a positive manner, they're not seeing it the way we see it, right? So they're seeing it as the protest.
Right.
Yeah, they're crazy, but something has to be done, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna take my kids so they can experience what it's like to see a protest. And it's like, yeah, that's great, but y'all don't get it. No. And it goes back to what
you don't get it.
And it goes back to what I was talking about with my therapist, because I was mentioning that term. She goes, well, maybe you should say something. And again, it's like, I could, maybe I should, but now here's where that thing called privilege kicks in. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if I say it, if I say how I really feel, respectfully, I'm not, respectfully and calmly, and I use all my words and I don't curse and all of that, but I paint a picture that might be overwhelming to someone, and somehow that bothers them or that offends them. Great, I spoke my truth, but how am I going to feed my family? Right?
I mean, they should be doing. They should reach out and see how they feel what's going on right now. Where you can feel free to talk, regardless if you're how you feel about it. Our companies owe this. As human beings, we're assets to them. They really do. And so to ignore the mental health aspect of the workplace environment is really unacceptable. So I mean, this is where, like I said, sometimes we gotta, just get ourselves. Sometimes, they should be doing it. These are very important. We have, we have to wrap this one up. But maybe we should make this once we can.
No, I'm with it.
And
I'm with it.
We're getting back together.
Like I said during the entire thing, let's make sure that we're all communicating. Let's make sure that we're checking in on our people. People have been checking in on us. If you don't have a therapist, find one. You can go for one. I have an offer. I have a network of them. Right here in Bridgeport, from Bridgeport, if you're from the area, Wellness Center, you can speak to men and women. So, it's just, this is rough.
Right.
So improve.
Right, absolutely. So yeah, I gotta we're gonna wrap it up. I know we've been going for a minute. It was supposed to be a statement.
Yeah.
That was a statement.
I mean, sometimes it's necessary, bro. Statements turn into therapy sessions, man.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, but yeah, man, like I said, I hope that something comes out of it. Like I said, they said the officers were charged. That's a great first step, because it went from one being charged with third degree, they upgraded it to second. The other officers are going to be charged or have been charged. So like I said, that we'll see.
Yeah, they got arrested already.
Yeah. So we'll see where that goes, man. And then, like I said, honestly, I still think that this is the first step. no, again, I'm appreciative of all the allies and of different races, religions, creed, gender, sexual orientation. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate all of that. But I still feel like as a people, we still need our own, right? Too many of us are still trying to get a seat at that table. When too many more of us are skilled enough to build our own. I feel like I said, so we're doing, like I said, we're doing, regardless of how you look at it, yes, you have some negative elements. We're doing the right thing on what we're doing in the streets. We're letting our voices be heard. But like I said, we have more than one voice, and every one of those voices are powerful. So like I said, you use your power at the polls. You use your power at the banks. I mean, like I'm dead serious. Soon as I have a conversation with my wife and we go over it, I'm probably gonna take my money and go on over to a black-owned bank. Nothing against anybody else, but you know what? It goes back to the all lives and black lives. No, nothing against. Make sure my people are good, and once my people are good, then we're all good because y'all are already good, right? We need to utilize that. Like I said, that blackout day where they said nothing. Drew, I agree with you 100%. You're not gonna see me buy nothing for 4th of July. No,
they all set.
You're gonna see me on, like I said, but we're gonna celebrate Juneteenth, right? Like I said, I'm not. I'm not gonna go out. I'm not saying I won't go outside if I have some hot dogs and burgers that are already in there, and I'm whatever the kids is outside, whatever. But I'm not spending my dollar for that. Nah, why?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna do that. But absolutely, we're not gonna. I'm not spending my money. Instead of making it a blackout day, make it a blackout week or a blackout month. Let them feel the effects of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because
what they say in your island, Davin, can't hear, must feel.
You can't hear, you must feel. If you can't hear, you must feel. And like I said, y'all haven't been hearing now, so it's like, you know what? And guess what?
You gotta feel this.
You gotta feel this, and you gotta let your voice be heard. I mean, I see the bots and everything already out there going back and forth on this election. Oh, I'm not gonna vote. Oh, Biden this. Listen. I wasn't a Biden supporter. I can't say that I'm still 100% a Biden supporter. But at this point,
I can't say I am either.
At this point, you need to vote your what's his name? Ted Cruz said back 4 years ago. You need to vote your conscience, right? Yeah. If you honestly can sit down and feel like that Trump has done stuff that benefited your life, then you know what? By all means, do what you got to do. But when it comes, if and when it comes back to bite you in the ass, remember your choice. If you decide that you're not going to vote because there's
gotta stand on it.
If you decide that you're not going to vote because
like people say, me and my house, we will praise the Lord. Me and my house, we will not vote for Trump.
Right. So it's like if you decide that you're not going to vote because you decided there's no good option, when things
you don't get to complain about
if and when things go bad for you or go worse for you, you don't get to complain. Hold that L. We got
actually you actually do get to complain. Just nobody's going to be listening.
Nope, and nobody should.
No, don't complain. Don't complain. Let us know. Just like everyone gets the I voted stickers and they like to post it. Hey, just say, hey guys, I did not vote. Because guess what? Reason why no one ever didn't vote because they
right. So, like I said, hold that L. Like we got to get out, and again, and it's not just the president, because see, the problem is the other thing that people aren't paying attention to is, yeah, y'all worried about the presidential election, but guess what? While y'all doing that,
what about everybody else?
Judges are getting appointed.
Voting judges. They can't vote on the stimulus plan. They're sneaking judges.
Okay, judges are getting voted. Yep. These judges who probably aren't, a bunch of these judges who aren't qualified to be judges, but they hold the same values as the person in the in the presidential office right now. So guess what?
And these are lifetime positions too.
And lifetime appointment positions. So now that's another battle we got to fight. But we got to start somewhere. So that's my thing. Hurt them in the pocket. Hurt them at the polls. Hurt them with your voice. It's gotta be a 3-staged attack. And then with that, I'm gonna end it. Like I said, y'all be safe. I love y'all. Y'all and
definitely salute. Love you too, brother.
I'm done talking. So if y'all got any final words before we close it, and then I'm gonna jump on this other stream I got. Y'all good?
I mean, the only thing I got to say real quick is take a look at this. I've seen Amish people, witches, Wiccans in the Church of Satan. I'm going to say that again. Amish people, Wiccans in the Church of Satan, all denouncing what's going on.
I did not see the Church of Satan.
Bro, I will send you the statement.
Please.
Like I said, this is the wildest episode of Tales from the Crypt I've ever seen, and I do not know how it's going to end.
Wow.
But you would be surprised.
Well, I saw Pat Robertson. I saw Pat Robertson say something last night.
It's crazy. But yes, everybody.
Shout out before we go to LeBron James and Richard Sherman, the recording brothers, and all the others for giving Drew Brees a business.
Absolutely.
Good.
Yes.
Good. And you know
yes.
what?
Gotta respect it.
LeBron, that's probably one thing. Look, LeBron, that's probably one thing you got on MJ. That's one thing you got on MJ.
All day.
That's one thing you got on MJ, bro. Yes, you might not have the rings, you might not have all the stats, but damn it, you got something that I think holds more right now. So,
yep,
it's a big weight.
Yep.
Yeah, but y'all brothers, you know what I'm saying? Everybody take care, stay safe, take care of your mental health, and check in on the people around y'all. You heard?
All right.
All right. Peace.
All right, brothers. Peace.
Peace.